Let's bring in Michael Allen. He served as a senior director in the National Security Council under President George W. Bush. Michael, isn't there still a lot of bipartisan opposition to this plan by the Biden administration to sign this nuclear deal?
Yes, there is, Dana. It's because at the beginning of the administration, we were supposed to lengthen and strengthen the deal. Instead, what the Biden administration did was ask for changes, accept Iran's no for an answer, and now we're actually getting less for more. So when you have such zeal for the deal, a deal at any cost, Israel and our other allies in the region are rightfully asking, do you have any more commitment to us here in the region, or are you just checking out to move on to bigger priorities?
You know, Michael, I'm kind of surprised by the kind of domino effect that the Biden's foreign policies have had. I mean, you take Saudi Arabia, right? They're unhappy with the United States for the disastrous exit from Afghanistan, our stance in the war on Yemen, and you throw in the Iran nuclear deal. And these countries just don't feel safe under this administration's policies.
Well, you're right. They'll go back and tell you, we wish the United States had done something when Iran bombed the oil facilities in Saudi Arabia during the Trump administration. And certainly, even though Secretary Blinken has been there over the last few days, we haven't done very much to reassure our allies in the Middle East that we care about them very much. We asked for additional oil from Saudi Arabia. They wouldn't take President Biden's call, in part because of Yemen, what you mentioned. We haven't been there for them. And we are otherwise just not paying them the due respect that they're owed as U.S. allies. So they're rightfully sort of saying, who else can we be friends with around the world? And we're not always going to do what the United States asks when they call at the last minute seeking a favor.
Let's switch gears to what President Biden tried to do yesterday, which is walk back the walk back. Here he was yesterday talking about the 9 words he ad-libbed in Poland.
I'm not walking anything back. The fact of the matter is I was expressing the moral outrage I felt toward the way Putin is dealing in the actions of this man. Just brutality.
The reaction and spin from the left to the right has been pretty remarkable, especially with some people saying, of course he was right. But you had a White House staffers on background in the Washington Post saying the president screwed up here. And then it makes me wonder, Michael, you and I worked for President Bush. Like, did they not ask him? Like,
right.
Did you mean to say that? And if he didn't mean to say it, then clarify it on the plane on the way home. But if he did mean to say it, then maybe he also needed to do more. What do you think of all of it?
Well, they're making a bigger hash of this the longer we're in it. President Biden isn't a senator anymore. What he says makes international news, and so he just can't speak from the hip. Dana, when you were White House press secretary, if you said something that President Bush didn't believe, you would have to go out and correct yourself. But now Biden stands up and says, hey, listen, I'm the policy setter in chief, but here's my personal view, but it doesn't reflect my policy. That rightfully confuses the world about where the United States is and gives Putin a great talking point inside Russia to say, hey, listen, the Americans are just trying to remove our government from power. Stand with me. It's not just about Ukraine. It's about the United States, the great Satan.
And lastly, Michael, the fact that the president was reading this response, this new non-walk back off of a cue card, doesn't it indicate to you that the White House is saying, listen, we are trying to control this message?
They are trying to control it, but then I think we haven't really talked as much about how Biden went off script again. He said in a later answer to a question, oh, I was speaking to the Russian people. So that makes me want to ask, well, so is our policy truly that we want the Russians to rise up? And so it's a total confusing mess. It's sloppy, and I want for the country to have a clear message in one of these, the biggest national security issues in decades.
Absolutely. In our lifetime. Thank you so much, Michael Allen. We'll be in touch.
Thank you.